You are listening to Jason's Billion Dollar Twist by Pocket FM, Episode 1.
$1 billion has been successfully credited to your bank account.
Jason's jaw dropped as he reread the message. A wave of shock and disbelief washed over him.
Is this true? Is my luck going to change once and for all?
Jason whispered, feeling both nervous and excited as he lost himself in recounting his day.
Hey there, loser Jason Villaflor.
Servant to work, not to be your target.
To lose his job.
Just earlier that morning, he was a nobody shuffling through the crowded cafeteria of Fryette City High in his worn-out, shabby uniform, ignoring the mocking sneers that followed. The weight of financial struggles pressed heavily on his shoulders, yet he persisted as the sole scholar in a sea of affluent classmates. Jason worked part-time in the school cafeteria to make ends meet, serving meals to students who seemed worlds apart from his own reality.
Ignore them,
Jason murmured under his breath.
They have nothing better to do.
In a shouting tone, Jules, the star basketball player, exclaimed,
Look at Villaflor, everyone. The scholarship kid, toiling away as a mere cafeteria worker. Is this your vision of a promising future?
Jules' words dripped with disdain, his sneer accentuating the cruelty. With a determined but quiet demeanor, Jason kept his focus on his duties, ignoring the taunts. Jules, however, wasn't ready to let him go.
Hey there, loser Jason Villaflor. Fetch us juice from the vending machine. I'll give you $50.
Jules smirked as he took a fresh $50 bill from his wallet and tossed it toward him. But, fueled by quiet strength, Jason refused to bow to Jules' demands.
I'm not your servant, Jules. I may work here, but I won't let you belittle me.
Hush fell over the cafeteria as Jason's words hung in the air. Jules scowled, taken aback by the unexpected defiance, especially as Jason continued, undeterred by the mockery. It was a cold war between the scholarship student and the wealthy basketball star in college. However, when Jason continued his work, ignoring the mockery entirely, Jules' anger was fueled even more. With a malicious smirk, Jules suggested,
Since you're feeling so high and mighty, how about you grab a mop and clean up this mess you're about to make?
Jason paused, confused, and Jules abruptly shoved him against the trash can. Everyone gasped, the entire cafeteria falling silent as Jason toppled over the trash can, spilling waste over Jason and the floor.
Right where you belong.
Jules grinned widely.
Now clean it all up, loser.
Jason clenched his jaw, a bitterness rising inside him. Provoking Jules would only mean worse humiliation. Everyone respected and feared him. Nonetheless, Jason replied firmly,
I'm here to work, not to be your target.
The students exchanged glances at each other. What was happening there was beyond their comprehension. Before they knew it, the manager's voice cut through the silence like a storm.
Hold on, he asserted. Don't you dare make a scene in here, Jules. Jason is here to serve food, not to mop floors.
His words were sharp and commanding. Despite the manager's intervention, some students still laughed at Jason. They didn't want to upset Jules. Even though it was uncomfortable, Jason got up, ready to resume his work without letting the mockery bother him too much. In response, Jules glared at Jason.
You know what?
I can make your manager lose his job if I want to.
Despite Jules' attempt to assert dominance, Jason held his ground. The cafeteria manager, though visibly concerned, maintained support for Jason, understanding the unfairness of the situation. Diana, the president of the student council, overheard the exchange from a distance. With a stern gaze, she stepped forward, immediately snapping at Jules.
Enough, Jules! We don't tolerate bullying here. Treat everyone with respect.
Her words made the mocking laughter fall quiet. Jules rolled his eyes.
Come on, Diana. We're just having some fun. We're waiting for the basketball court to be cleaned up, and we've got practice coming up.
However, Diana remained firm in her stance.
Fun should never come at the expense of someone else's dignity. Treat your fellow students with respect, regardless of the situation.
The silence was so excruciating that Jules surrendered with a hint of reluctance. However, unable to let go of his pride, he cast a disdainful look at Jason and muttered mockingly,
You're lucky today. Your hero is here to the rescue.
Jason did not bother to respond. He was grateful for Diana's intervention, but also knew that was going to change nothing. He was the outcast among all students, the poor loser everyone loved to mock and ridicule. With a final disdainful glance, Jules and his group left the cafeteria and headed toward the basketball court. The atmosphere in the cafeteria slowly returned to normal, but the impact of the incident lingered in the minds of those who had witnessed the confrontation. After the commotion settled and Jules and his group left, Jason approached Diana with a grateful smile.
Thank you, Diana. Your help meant a lot.
He said sincerely. With a reassuring nod, Diana replied,
No one deserves to be treated that way. We're a school community, and everyone should feel safe and respected. If you ever need help, don't hesitate to reach out.
It's just that I don't have the time or resources to deal with such idiots. As they say, no time to fret, only time to sweat.
Jason smirked as he wiped off the sweat from his forehead. Diana couldn't help but laugh at his happy-go-lucky attitude.
Take care of yourself, Jason. Also, are you free this Saturday? Let's maybe go get lunch, or...
Before Diana could complete her sentence, she was interrupted.
Oh, crap! I forgot to check if Alyssa had lunch. Gotta go, Diana. See ya!
Jason ran to the pantry to get to his mobile. Diana let out a heavy sigh, looking disappointed. But there was something that Jason remained oblivious to after all these years. As Jason ran down the corridor, feeling breathless and exhausted after all the work and humiliation, his phone suddenly buzzed with a new message. He stopped to take his phone out of his pocket, expecting it to be from his girlfriend. But one tap on the screen, and his fingers froze. He dropped the phone on the ground and looked at the glowing screen in sheer disbelief.
Episode 2.
Are you going to buy me that new smartphone or not?
The message Jason had just received read. It was from Alyssa, just like he had expected. But instead of concern or comfort, the words made him feel uncomfortable. With a sigh and concern for his girlfriend Alyssa, Jason responded with trembling fingers,
Hey, babe. What are you doing? Had lunch? We need to talk about the phone, Jason.
She instantly responded.
I need it for my social media influencer journey. You don't want to ruin my career, do you?
The room felt suffocating as Jason read Alyssa's demanding message. She had been so sweet and always so caring when they first met. But lately, she had become colder. Just then, another notification popped up on his screen. It was a message from his friend and dorm mate, Arnold. He ignored Arnold's text.
Why is she upset?
Jason wondered as he waited patiently before texting her back.
Why does luck have to be so cruel to me?
Jason sighed, realizing that the financial strain he was already under had just become more overwhelming than before. Finally, Jason decided to respond with sincerity.
Alyssa, I understand you want a new phone, but right now my priority is my exams and paying for my dorm. I hope you can understand the situation I'm in.
Jason typed, trying to convey the weight of his responsibilities. Alyssa's reply, however, was quick and unforgiving.
Jason, I can't be with someone who can't provide for me. This is not what I signed up for.
Jason was stunned by the abrupt shift in her stance. As he stared at his phone, a mixture of emotions flooded Jason's mind. Frustration, disappointment, and a growing realization that this relationship might not be as genuine as he had believed. Jason, determined to face the challenges head-on, replied with a simple yet resolute message.
I'll do my best, Alyssa. I hope you can understand the situation I'm in right now.
Despite the tension in their conversation, Jason maintained a sense of determination to navigate through the hurdles that lay ahead. Alyssa didn't reply to Jason's message, making the situation even more uncertain. Jason felt unsure about where things stood between them. Meanwhile, Alyssa's silence left him in a moment of reflection. He realized that even though he was trying his best, it might not be enough to understand each other's priorities.
No, my Alyssa isn't like that. I must be overthinking,
Jason murmured.
Alyssa will understand me. She has always been nice to me. I just need to meet her once.
After the quiet exchange with Alyssa, Jason decided to focus on his job at the library. He went back to work, helping the librarian with different tasks. In the library, Jason felt calm and safe. Unlike the cafeteria, where people made fun of him, the library was quiet, where only students who wanted to learn came. Surrounded by the smell of books and the quiet sounds of pages turning, Jason felt like he belonged here. Nobody judged him in the library. It was a special place for him, where he could concentrate on his studies and forget about the difficulties in his social life. While Jason was assisting a fellow student, Arnold approached him with a serious expression.
Jason, didn't you see my text before?
Jason looked up at him cluelessly.
Anyway, you have to see this.
Arnold replied grimly, holding up his phone to show a post. Alyssa was there, sitting beside Jules in the basketball court seats. The picture was intimate, as if they were going to kiss each other. Jason's mouth went dry. A whirlwind of emotions hit him all at once. Disbelief, hurt, anger. He handed the phone back, struggling to keep his composure.
Maybe it's just a coincidence,
Jason said, sounding unsure, his voice quieter than intended.
The camera angle. It could be misleading.
Deep down, Jason was grappling with the shock of seeing Alyssa and Jules together so close. He knew the picture was not as innocent as he wanted to believe it was, and his words were meant more only to calm his emotions. Jason sighed deeply.
I'll talk to Alyssa. There has to be an explanation.
He texted Alyssa about the recently uploaded photo on her profile. In the message, he cautiously expressed his concern.
Hey, Alyssa. I saw the picture on your profile. Can we talk about it? I just want to understand what's going on.
Alyssa replied quickly, almost too quickly.
Yeah, that's Jules and me.
Jason's heart dropped. However, he didn't know that Jules was secretly using Alyssa's phone while waiting for her to finish showering in the locker room of the basketball court. As Jason read the text, confusion and disbelief washed over him. How could she say something like that so casually? Alyssa's next message gave Jason a glimmer of hope.
Come on over to the basketball locker room. I'll explain everything there.
In the basketball locker room, Alyssa finished her shower and stepped out, only to find Jules waiting for her. The atmosphere shifted as he kissed her, and they engaged in intimate caresses. Little did Jason know that Jules had orchestrated this scenario, using Alyssa's phone to invite him and subsequently witness their actions. As Jason cautiously opened the door, the shocking scene before him left him frozen in disbelief. Alyssa and Jules, lost in their moment, were oblivious to his presence until the creaking door caught their attention. A tense silence filled the room as their eyes met. Jason gathered some courage and stammered.
What? What is going on here?
Alyssa, with a sly smirk, retorted,
Oh, Jason. Welcome to our little show. Surprise!
She then laughed mockingly.
Wondering about us? Oh, it was just a bet.
She gestured to herself and Jason.
What do you mean, Alyssa?
Jason was shattered. Alyssa, with a sly smirk, asked,
Why do you look so shocked? Did you really think what we had was real?
She laughed mockingly.
It was all a joke. Gosh, you're so pathetic, Jason.
Jason was stunned, feeling shattered and lost all at once.
Subscribe now to find out what happens next in Jason's $1 billion twist.